Continuing from the previous episode 1115. This Qingniu is really mysterious. From a distance, there are poisonous lakes everywhere, but when you look at it, it becomes a beautiful paradise. It's approaching evening, and it's estimated that the moon will appear all over the place in the near future. Only then can Qingniu Tan be able to truly reflect the moon. Lei Shi saw that many of the strong men around him had stopped, and he immediately responded. Qingniu spoke slightly behind her back. The Yu family and the Qing family are here. The three major families of Ghost King City are gathered together. I'm afraid this Qingniu Tan can be jointly opened by the three of them. Let's just wait quietly. Some figures couldn't help muttering as they watched the three families gather. Xiao Yan, you'd better pray that it doesn't fall into my hands, otherwise this emperor will definitely ask you to survive, but not to die. Yu Quan just saw the figures of the Qing family, and the corners of his mouth suddenly turned gloomy. Get up and curse. I hope you don't fall into my hands, otherwise you will feel better. Seeing this, Xiao Yan was naturally unwilling to be outdone and responded. Although Yu Quan's strength is terrifying, it is far from the point where Xiao Yan is taboo. After all, Xiao Yan's body is a fierce beast of flame and two holy flames, adding the soul power of the peak of the *** realm. Even if he can't beat him, it is not a problem to want to escape. Just be brave, you will feel better in a while. Yu Quan left a sentence directly, and then walked away to the edge of the Qingniu. Brother Xiao Yan, be careful, this Yu Quan is an insidious villain, he is particularly vengeful, and his strength is not low. Qing Wen, who was beside him, spoke slowly. However, what surprised Xiao Yan was that even in the face of Yu Quan, who was as powerful as a fighting fairy, Qing Wen did not show any fear. Obviously, he should have something to rely on. Since the troops have already arrived, let's enter Qingniu. Looking at the dozens of powerful men around him, Yu Quan looked back and said lightly. Entering Qingniu? Isn't this courting death? The soul beast in the Qingniu is so powerful, I'm afraid we can't handle it. Seeing Yu Quan speaking, some strong men couldn't help but back off. Although they all knew that the legendary ghost moon well was in this Qingniu, the mysterious and powerful soul beast in this Qingniu made them timid. Don't worry, that soul beast of Qingniu, our Lei Qingniu family will naturally deal with it. Yu Quan opened his mouth and seemed to sense the fear of these powerhouses. You said yes? Lei's Lei Shi, Qing's Qing document. Yu Quan had just finished speaking to the other powerhouses when he turned his head and said to the two of them. The strategy is good, use the crowd to suppress us. If it wasn't for the thing in Qingniu, I, Lei Shi, would not have cooperated with a sinister villain like you. Seeing Yu Quan like this, Lei Shi's figure moved slowly and laughed loudly. Let's go. And Qing Wen also smiled and smiled. You two, stay here. Let's go. As soon as Qing Wen's voice fell, he immediately brought Qinger, Xiao Yan, and a group of 3 people into the Qingniu. And other Lei Shi, Yu Quan and some powerhouses who had reached the peak level of Do Di also followed suit. Strange. As soon as he poured into Qingniu, Xiao Yan suddenly felt a rather mysterious aura in his body, as if he was about to burst out of the ground. That kind of aura was cyan, but it was not the power of flame. On the contrary, it was more like Xiao Yan's alchemist, with a faint wood attribute mixed with the fire attribute. Brother Xiao Yan, are you all right? Seeing Xiao Yan being a little absent-minded, Qing Wen couldn't help but ask. I'm fine, however, this Moonlight Tan is quite mysterious. Xiao Yan said with a smile. This Qingniu has a long history. It is said that Qingniu is a mysterious place that was created when the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast broke through the immortal battle, which attracted immortal calamities and successfully passed through. It looks like Qingniu, but in fact, there are already poisonous lakes everywhere, and there are many mysterious places, which are very dangerous. Qing Wen said. I said, stop dawdling with the 3 of you, hurry up and leave. Seeing that the 3 powerhouses of Lei Qingniu had just poured into the Qingniu, they were suspended in the air and did not set foot on the water of the Qingniu. Instead, they stood quietly in the air, and some strong people were immediately dissatisfied and said, Shabu Shabu. The man's face showed a burst of impatience, and just after he finished speaking, a rushing sound of breaking wind slowly came to him, killing him instantly. The terrifying cyan hurricane strangled the figure without any scum left. Hoo. If you don't want to hunt for treasure, just go straight and leave. Yu Quan shot in an instant, killing the figure with a thunderous force, and all the other powerhouses suddenly had their throats dry and hoarse. Do not hesitate. When the Qing family and Lei Shi saw this, they also shook their heads. The reason why they didn't act the first time was because they were looking for the trace of Qingniu Tianmu. I found it. After a while, Qing Wen's voice slowly echoed. Be careful. As soon as Qing Wen's voice fell, a huge water column with a shocking water flow shot directly at it. Bang bang bang. The water column hit the position of Qing Wen with a huge force, but fortunately Xiao Yan was quick-witted and pushed it away. The water column also fluttered. Null. Brother Xiao Yan, thank you very much. And Qing Wen didn't expect it to be so dangerous just now, so he couldn't help saying. It's too early to thank you. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he was currently staring at the water below. That beast has appeared, and some figures couldn't help muttering when they saw such a tyrannical attack. Since you don't dare to move, then let my Yu family make this early bird. After Yu Quan finished speaking, his figure swept away, his speed exploded, and his entire body suddenly burst out with cyan fighting energy, and swept away towards the water surface. Why is this guy so impatient? And Lei Shi couldn't help muttering while watching Yu Quan's abnormal movements. The Yu family has always been a sinister villain who only acts for his own benefit. If he is so eager to act on Qingniu Tianmu, it is probably enough to show that there is probably something in this Qingniu Tianmu that can attract him. This asterisk actually knows about the Qingniu Tianmu. And Xiao Yan couldn't help roaring when he saw the Yu family like this. The Tianmu of the Qingniu Tianmu, Xiao Yan is bound to win. If it is captured by the Yu family after leaving, I am afraid that my wood attribute will inspire hopelessness. Do it! Looking at each other, Xiao Yan and Qing Wenxian immediately burst into motion, catching up with Yu Quan in an instant. Crash! When the three powerhouses of Lei Qingyu attacked the water surface began to twist under the eyes of everyone, and then a huge monster came into the eyes of everyone. Continuing from the previous episode 1116, it's actually a Qingniu Tianmu soul beast. And looking at the behemoth, the eyes of the other strong people present became extremely heavy. They know that this guy's strength has reached the level of fighting immortals, and he is in Yinyutan, occupying the right time and place, and I am afraid that the increase is too huge for the Azure Bull and Heavenly Wood soul beast. Everyone saw that there was an incomparably huge crack on the surface of the water, and in the crack, a figure of a behemoth stood in the air and slowly appeared. The behemoth is the Azure Bull Heavenly Wood Spirit Beast. The overall shape of the Azure Bull Heavenly Wood Spirit Beast is like a strong bull, with its limbs stepping in the air, horns on its head, and a height of nearly 100 feet. Even on its body, there are traces of extremely obscure and mysterious patterns lingering around it. The body was surrounded, and an invisible pressure shrouded everyone's heart. The fissure was 100 feet in size, and at this moment, the huge beast covered in blue light was staring at them with a playful gaze. This guy is very strong. Xiao Yan commented on this big guy just by meeting each other. The Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast was originally synonymous with strength, not to mention that it is still its home court. Its combat effectiveness is probably extraordinary. Retreat. Seeing the appearance of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast, Qing Wen said to everyone, after all, he had fought against this big guy before, and he knew the horror of this guy. Hey, people from the Qing family, are you here again? And the huge pupils of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast glanced slightly at the many figures in the sky, and finally locked onto the two of the Qing family, smiling quite interestingly. You bastard. Seeing this, Qing Wen couldn't help but scolded. He came to Yinyutan before and was defeated by the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast dozens of times. It has already been beheaded by it, and now seeing each other in Dudu, it is naturally very jealous. Qingwen, why are you so troubled? It just so happens that Ben Xian has sent a Mrs. Genton. Why don't you give me your sister as a betrothal, so I don't want to stop you from looking for some ghost moon well. Qingwen, what do you think? After the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast finished speaking, it looked at Qingwen and seemed to be waiting for his decision. You, dreaming. And Qingwen gave Qing'er a slight glance, and then said resentfully, her voice full of anger. Don't be so ignorant of flattery. The Qingniu Tianmu soul beast didn't seem to be surprised by Qing Wen's decision, but he still said it. Without further ado, do it. The next moment, Yu Quan took the lead directly, and a dazzling cyan Do Qi emerged, attacking the Azure Ox Tianmu spirit beast. "Brother Xiaoyan, please help me take care of my sisters 1 or 2. After Qing Wen finished speaking, his figure also burst out and attacked the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. "It's just a group of ants." Seeing that the terrifying attacks contained in these dozens of people attacked him, the Azure Ox and Heavenly Wood Soul Beast did not have the slightest fear and opened his mouth slightly. Lei Feng Palm, broken jade finger, 3 on/the ground. Quote. The dozens of people present resolutely exuded a huge offensive and attacked directly at the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. Its aura was so terrifying, I am afraid that ordinary immortal fighting powerhouses could only temporarily avoid the edge. Ho ho ho! Seeing so many attacks, the Azure Ox Tianmu spirit beast stomped on both feet, and suddenly, a ripple, centered on it, spread out towards the surroundings. "No, it's a sonic attack. Everyone defend well." Seeing this scene, Qing Wen hurriedly shouted, "It's too late. And how could the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast give them such a good opportunity?" The ripples under their feet, the next moment directly turned into a dazzling sound wave, with itself as the center, spread out towards Yunyutan in all directions, and instantly sent those tyrannical attacks were broken, and the energy above the sonic attack was too terrifying. I'm afraid that it could easily kill the Do D strong. But, damn. And Qinger's delicate body was standing in the air, obviously a little uncomfortable because of the terrifying sound waves, and her chest couldn't help heaving violently. Cece. After a while, Xiaoyan directly exerted his huge soul power to cover himself and Qinger, and then the pressure caused by the sonic attack weakened. "Are you all right?" Xiaoyan asked, seeing that Qinger's face was slightly pale because of the sonic attack just now. "It's okay. It's just that your soul power seems to be a little strong." And Qinger looked at Xiaoyan, who was calm and composed, and couldn't help but speak out. As the eldest young lady of the Qing family, Qinger is naturally knowledgeable, but the barrier formed by Xiaoyan's soul power has perfectly avoided the sonic attack of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. Full of destructive power, this Xiaoyan could deal with so easily, which made Qinger admire Xiaoyan even more. "Are you a pharmacist?" After a few breaths, it seemed that she remembered something. Qinger's beautiful eyes shrank tightly and asked Xiaoyan. "That's right," Xiaoyan agreed softly, looking at the people who were fighting fiercely in the arena. "Stay here, don't move around, I'll help them." Before Qinger could ask, Xiaoyan left a sentence and went to the battle center. "This guy," and Qinger felt the power of her soul around her to protect her. She couldn't help but move her beautiful eyes. Obviously something was going on. Oh, this beast, such a tyrannical sonic attack. If this goes on like this, I'm afraid we will suffer heavy losses." Lei Shi, who was on the side, tried his best to overcome the sonic attack and said immediately. Obviously, based on the information they got, how could they know that this guy would perform a sonic attack? No, he must be stopped. Looking at the figures around him, some bleeding from their noses and mouths, and some shaky figures, if this goes on, I am afraid that all the people here will be killed by him. "Yuquan," Lei Shi shouted loudly. "Now, he is the only one who can crack this attack." "I know. Although Yuquan is insidious, he has no certainty of winning when facing the Azure Ox and Tianmu Soul Beast, so he naturally dare not let these powerhouses fall. After all, Yuquan wants to use their strength as his own stepping stone. If they all fall, I am afraid that I will also be unable to escape the claws of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. It's just a group of ants." And the Azure Niu Tianmu soul beast looked at the sky, and the people who were attacked by its own sound waves fell to everyone, and couldn't help but let out a very happy laugh. "Old guy, it's too early to be happy." Before the laughter of the Azure Ox Tianmu soul beast could land, a voice that also contained an earth-shattering laughter slowly appeared beside the Azure Ox Tianmu soul beast. How could it be? It's actually a holy flame. And the Azure Niu Tianmu soul beast turned its gaze from the figure in the sky to the figure in front of him, and couldn't help but find that it was standing in front of him less than 5 meters away. There, a man covered in blue-yellow flames was staring at him with a playful smile. Continuing from the previous episode 1117. It seems that you know quite a lot. Xiaoyan was a little surprised. Although he possessed 2 kinds of holy flames in blue and yellow, under Xiaoyan's deliberate contraction, most people would not be able to sense that this was holy flame. This is more tyrannical than ordinary flames. Boy, I didn't expect you to have a holy flame in your body. Su, it's really God helping me. This immortal is really worried about how to get through the first catastrophe, and I will send you to my door when I don't expect you. If it devours you, with the power of holy flame, let alone the second catastrophe, even the third catastrophe, I will not be afraid at all. Ha ha ha. At this time, the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast looked at Xiao Yan and laughed loudly. The voice was extremely rude and terrifying like an ogre. Xiao Yan naturally knew that an ordinary beast whose strength reached the level of fighting immortals could cultivate into a human form, or survive a catastrophe, thus giving birth to a mind that was no weaker than a human being. It is very likely that the strength has reached the battle of immortals, but it has not yet passed the catastrophe. Then let's see if you have the ability. Xiao Yan snorted coldly when he heard the words, and took off the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind him, and the power of the blue-yellow holy flame was poured into it continuously, obviously preparing to use some powerful attack. That kid, what are you doing? And above the sky, Yu Quan, who was just about to shoot, watched Xiao Yan directly past them and came to the Azure Bull Heavenly Wood Spirit Beast, and couldn't help roaring. Although Yu Quan is of the wind attribute, since he left the Ghost King City and came to the Ghost King Ridge to look for the Ghost Moon well, the head of the Yu family had told him that he had to bring back the body of this Azure Qingniu Tianmu soul beast intact. Although Yu Quan didn't know the reason for this request from the head of the family, he intuitively told the Yu family that there must be some treasure in the body of the Azure Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast, which is why Yu Quan was so sure to win this spirit beast. Damn, this damned sonic attack. The other Peak Do Emperor powerhouses were struggling to support at this time. Obviously, the sonic attack from the Azure Bull Heavenly Wood Soul Beast caused them extremely strong pressure. The next moment, the battle between Xiao Yan and the Qingniu Tianmu Spirit Beast started instantly. Boom boom boom! The Qingniu Tianmu Spirit Beast took the lead, and the huge figure jumped directly. The two strong horns on the head aimed directly at Xiao Yan, and whistled away. Good guy. And Xiao Yan also sensed the intention of the Azure Ox and Tianmu Spirit Beast, and said something slightly. The ancient ruler of eternal fire on his palm stood directly in front of his chest, trying to resist. Bang bang bang! Within a breath, the two horns of the Azure Bull Tian Mulan directly faced Xiao Yan's eternal fire eternal ruler. It's broken. This guy's power is too tyrannical. Xiao Yan held the ancient ruler of eternal fire with both hands, and the power of holy flame emerged, struggling to resist the power of the two horns of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. Boy, don't underestimate me. Seeing that Xiao Yan and himself seemed to be evenly matched, the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast opened its mouth slightly and said with a smile, "It's not good." And the moment Xiao Yan spoke the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast, he felt that something was wrong, because above the horns, a tyrannical force continued to emerge, and it was vague that he could not be defeated. Stand up. Go to hell. As soon as the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast finished speaking, a dazzling silver light suddenly appeared above its horns, and then it attacked Xiao Yan like a broken bamboo. Bang bang bang. A series of attacks. Even if Xiao Yan relied on the power of the eternal fire eternal ancient ruler and the holy flame, he was still invincible. Pung pung. After being attacked vigorously by the horns of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast, Xiao Yan flew out. Strange, isn't it said that Saint Flame is extremely tyrannical? How could it be so weak? Could it be that this kid doesn't know how to use holy flames? The Azure Ox Tianmu spirit beast looked at Xiao Yan's embarrassed figure and said depressedly, "The current strength of the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast is already in the middle stage of the one-star Do Xian, but Xiao Yan's strength is only at the peak of Do Di, but with the power of holy flame, even the Qingniu Tianmu soul beast dare not underestimate it. It doesn't matter. Let's kill this guy first, otherwise there will be another guy from the Yu family, and that guy is also very strong." The Qingniu Tianmu soul beast didn't think about other things for the time being, and said slowly. The next moment, Qingniu Tianmu's whole body shone with silver light. Even if it was a huge figure, it moved as fast as a ghost, and attacked directly at the place where Xiao Yan flew out. And the double horns on its head grew crazily in an instant, and in a short time it grew to 10 meters long. There was silver light above the double horns, and the sharp edges of the horns seemed to be able to kill with one blow. Boy, you are playing with your life. Seeing Xiao Yan like this, the soul eater in the body couldn't help but say, but after the sacrifice in Xuanchen before, the soul eater also don't dare to be sloppy, and be vigilant at all times. Once Xiao Yan's plan fails, he will take action instantly. Damn. Xiao Yan flew out backwards without making any preparations, but seeing the Azure Bull and Heavenly Wood Spirit Beast attacking him, the attack was so powerful that he was afraid that he would be hard to resist. Aren't you coming out yet? A wry smile appeared at the corner of Xiao Yan's mouth, apparently trying to use suicide to force the flaming beast to appear, but it seemed that he failed. Alas. And Xiao Yan sighed slightly. The sharp horns of the blue ox and the sky wood spirit beast approached him 3 meters away, and the next moment would completely obliterate Xiao Yan. Peeved and Xiao Yan also felt that this plan had failed. Just as he was about to emerge the power of holy flame in his body to protect himself, he noticed something rather mysterious. Boom boom boom. The horns of the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast directly hit 2 extremely strong crystals, and then a cyan flame, a khaki flame, lingered directly around its horns and shook it back. Go, asshole! What kind of power is this? Upon realizing this scene, the Azure Ox Tianmu soul beast couldn't help but shout, and the figure hurriedly retreated. Finally, are you willing to come out? And Xiao Yan looked at the 2 cyan crystals and khaki crystals, a fierce flame beast exuding a domineering aura, walking in the air. Ow! As soon as the flame beast came out, it opened its mouth and roared at the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. What is this? Seeing this, some of the powerhouses below who were blocked by the sonic attack couldn't help but look at each other. Obviously, they thought Xiao Yan was just a reckless man, and he was about to fall under the attack of the Azure Ox and Sky Wood Spirit Beast just now. But out of nowhere, a rather cute little monster was summoned. It's just that this flaming beast looks cute, but how can it help this level of battle? This guy seems to have a familiar aura. Could it be the King of Beasts, right? And the Azure Niu Tianmu Soul Beast, after seeing the roar of the Flame Beast, was directly fearful, a trace of fear in his heart. Originating from the pressure of the superior, it permeated from the bottom of his heart, and an uneasy thought emerged in his heart. Continuing from the previous episode 1118. The King of Beasts? What is that? Xiao Yan looked at the flaming beast that was finally willing to leave his Sea of Vindictiveness, and directly blocked the Sea of Vindictiveness, and immediately opened his mouth in surprise. Boy! Where did your spirit beast come from? But the Azure Niu Tianmu spirit beast said with a solemn expression at this time. Ow! The flaming beast was still roaring at Xiao Yan at this time, as if blaming Xiao Yan for why he sealed up the Do Chi Sea so that he could not return home. Naturally, I got it by coincidence. Xiao Yan heard this and smiled slowly. Xiao Yan is not a fool, and he will definitely not explain the details of this flaming beast. I know even if you don't tell me. It is said that among the 7 realms, there is a beast of a rather tyrannical overlord. It's called the King of Beasts. The King of all beasts is the strongest of all the beasts, spirit beasts and beasts in the 7 realms, and the owner of the supreme power. The Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast said slowly, his voice full of awe. Then what? When Xiao Yan heard the words, he seemed to be listening carefully. Since the last time the Great Thousand World dealt with the evil race from outside the territory, the King of all beasts has disappeared. I can't imagine that I can actually see the King of all beasts in my childhood. Destroy my beast clan, and the Azure Ox Tianmu Soul Beast said with tears in his eyes. That's not right. If it is the King of all beasts, how could it be? When Xiao Yan heard the words, he slowly shook his head. This flaming beast was born in his own Do Chi Sea, and it almost devoured his Do Chi Sea and even his Do Chi. It is a different fire. If it is said that it is the King of Beasts, obviously these things do not make sense. Do you know what the King of Beasts likes to eat? The Azure Ox and Heavenly Wood Soul Beast asked, seemingly aware of Xiao Yan's thoughts. What? Xiao Yan couldn't help but speak when he heard the words, but he vaguely guessed something in his heart. The King of all beasts loves human fighting chi the most, especially some tyrannical fighting chi. And it loves flames even more. The Qingniu Tianmu Soul Beast said word by word. How could it be possible? Xiao Yan's eyes became strange as he watched the Azure Ox Tianmu Spirit Beast say these things one by one. Having said that, then you, the fiery beast, is the real king of all beasts. After being said that by this azure ox and heavenly wood soul beast, I am reminded of something about the previous battle between heaven and earth. In that war between heaven and earth, Lord Tuash Gudi seemed to disappear together with the king of all beasts, and the relationship between Tuash Gudi and the king of all beasts was very close. In the end, it was said that Tuash Gudi burned reincarnation. The king of all beasts, with the ability of the ancient emperor of Tuash, I am afraid that he will not let him fall. But when Xiao Yan felt a little shocked in his heart, the master of Soul Eater said, "No way. Then he has already devoured my Do Chi Si and the source of strange fire. What should I do?" When Xiao Yan heard this, he was suddenly miserable. "Haha, little guy, take a long-term view. Maybe this flaming beast is the reincarnation of the king of all beasts. Although it has swallowed up your Do Chi and strange fire now, its relationship with you is also extraordinary. If it really grows in the future, I am afraid it will become your great help." The Soul Eater said with a smile. "A big help?" Xiao Yan was a little surprised when he heard this. "Do you know what the king of beasts is?" The Lord of Soul Eater couldn't help but said, "Among the beasts, the real king is probably far more powerful than me. And this king of beasts is the real king of beasts. All the beast creatures in the 7 worlds, except for the dragon family and a few special beast races, will be ruled by him. Although this little guy is only in his infancy now and hasn't grown up yet, you should know its potential, right?" The Soul Eater said with a smile. "It won't be so scary." But Xiao Yan felt dizzy after hearing this. He clearly didn't do anything. How could he have such a king of beasts? This was obviously something Xiao Yan couldn't figure out. Could it be Emperor Tuash Gu burning? This is the only conclusion Xiao Yan can draw so far. Okay, the king of all beasts seems to be entering the next stage. You can bring it in. I'll stop the people here. Looking at Yuquan, who was staring at him next to him, Qingniu Tianmu Soul Beast said, "Many thanks, Senior." When Xiao Yan heard the words, he directly greeted the flame beast, then swept his figure and walked towards the center of Yinyutan. If you can solve your own battle Qi Si problem here, it will not be difficult to advance to Do Xian, and the most important thing is that the flame beast has swallowed the power of the fusion of the 2 holy flames before, and its body is like a furnace at this time. There is a vague suspicion of an imminent explosion. Asshole. This guy seems to have reached some consensus with the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast, and the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast actually let him go to the Ghost Moon well. Seeing that the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast didn't stop Xiao Yan and let it run to the Ghost Moon well, Yu Quan couldn't help roaring. "Everyone join forces and kill this soul beast for me." Seeing this, Yu Quan hurriedly became furious and shouted angrily, "Hey! I never thought that I would still do a dowry for someone else." And Qing Wenshu couldn't help laughing at Xiao Yan's leaving figure. "Brother." Qinger also came to Qing Wen's side slightly and said, "This kind of opportunity has always been reserved for those who are destined, and it is useless to force it." Although Qing Wen was quite eager for Ghost Moon well, he was free and easy and smiled slowly. "Since this is the end of the matter, let's go." Qinger glanced at the Ghost Moon well with a trace of reluctance. "The 2 of you seem to have the aura of the little guy just now. What is your relationship with him?" Seeing that there was a lot of Xiao Yan's aura on the 2 of you, Qingniu Tianmu Soul Beast couldn't help but ask. "Naturally, it's a game of brothers and friends." After Qing Wen finished speaking, she had plans to leave. "Since that's the case, then I'll see that guy's face and give you 2 a good fortune." In the hands of the Azure Niu Tianmu Soul Beast, the front foot suddenly lifted, and then it suddenly stepped on the void. The next moment, the figures of Qinger and Qingwen were instantly enveloped by a silver light. "Bastard." Seeing this, Qing Wen couldn't help roaring, but just wanted to resist, but just looked at the 2 figures and went directly to the Guiyuejing in the center of Yinyutan. What kind of consensus has this Xiao Yan reached with the Qingniu Tianmu Soul Beast? At this time, Qinger also guessed something and couldn't help but say, "Little bastard, the next time is your death." Seeing Xiao Yan and the Qing family being sent directly to the Ghost Moon well by the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast, Yu Quan's expression turned ugly, even it is a trace of killing intent, vented. Yu Quan knows that this Ghost Moon well is not only about the legend of Love Moon, but also because there are some treasures under the Ghost Moon well that can make people crazy. Continuing from the previous episode 1119. With the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast intercepting many strong men, Xiao Yan, Qing Wen, and Qinger went towards the ghost moon well one after another. I didn't expect it to be so easy this time. I thought there would be a fierce battle. Xiao Yan came to the Guiyuejing not far away, and gently stroked the flame beast with both hands. His eyes were full of tenderness. Obviously he could not think of this little guy. There is still such a terrible life experience, can't help but say. Ow! The flame beast seemed to enjoy Xiao Yan stroking his forehead, and let out a rather comfortable roar. Senior Soul Eater, what is the current situation in my body? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask as he watched the flaming beast leave the Do Chi Sea. It's very rare for you to have a sea of vindictive energy in your body, but it's a good thing after all. Because you didn't find out? Even if all the fighting chi in your body is swallowed up by this little guy, your power of life and death and fighting chi will not have any effect. The Master of Soul Eater pretended to be profound. That's true. Xiao Yan nodded lightly after hearing this. The Do Chi of ordinary people is stored in the Do Chi Sea, but Xiao Yan, the Do Chi Sea of the Do Chi Sea has been swallowed up by the flame beasts, and he can still exert the power of life and death, which is quite strange. And the reason why you can be so easily unaffected by the Do Chi Sea is probably related to this little guy, said Soul Eater. Flaming beasts? King of all beasts? Xiao Yan shook his head slightly when he heard the words, obviously not knowing why. Because the flame beast has devoured your source of strange fire and the power of holy flame, I am afraid that it has some close connections with you. Otherwise, it will not rush out to save you when you are in danger. So I guess, if you want to get your Do Chi back, I'm afraid you have to ask the flaming beast. The Soul Eater said, having a grudge against the flaming beast? Xiao Yan felt that his head was a little big. If this flaming beast is really the king of beasts, then he is not taking food from the tiger's mouth, and the king of beasts eats what he eats, and why does he spit it out? As of now, that's the only way it can be. Xiao Yan daringly agreed, and then looked at the innocent flaming beast in front of him. Now that there is no one around, let's solve the problem of Do Chi first. Xiao Yan glanced at the people behind him who were stopped by the Qingniu Tianmu spirit beast. Qing Wen, there is still some time before Ghost Moon Well. Ooh, it seemed that he heard Xiao Yan talking about the sea of vindictive chi, and the 23 colored flames on the flaming beast dimmed slightly, like a child who had done something wrong, quite mischievous. Is all my fighting chi eaten by you? Xiao Yan couldn't help laughing when he saw the flame beast like this. Wu tilde, the flame beast heard the words and shook its huge head crazily, indicating that it was not him. There is a huge amount of Do Chi in the sea of Do Chi in ordinary people, and that's the foundation of cultivation. In the end, you are a good little fellow. I swallowed all of them cleanly. How can I compress the sea of fighting chi and condense the fighting core to advance to fighting immortal? And he even stole my source of strange fire and the power of holy flame. Xiao Yan said with a smile on his face, but when talking about the power of strange fire and holy flame, the flames of the beast were in the eyes of the beast. There was clearly a hint of vigilance. Ow! Hearing this, the flame beast continued to shake his head. It seems that the king of all beasts is quite fond of the different fire and holy flame. Could it be that the ancient war was severely damaged by the evil race outside the territory, and the power of flame was needed to purify the evil and restore the power? And the Lord of Soul Eater looked at the beast of flames, and his heart was full. He couldn't help muttering, okay, I didn't plan to let you spit it all out for me, but you have to give me back my grudge. Xiao Yan smiled as he looked at this fiery beast like a living treasure. Wang buzzing, when the flame beast heard the words, it was as happy as a child, and then the huge power in its body slowly flickered, as if something was brewing. The flame beast knows that it has swallowed too many things from Xiao Yan, fighting chi, strange fire and holy flame, but fighting chi is not very useful to him, and it is okay to give it back to Xiao Yan, but the power of strange fire and holy flame is for himself. The best help cannot be easily returned to Xiao Yan. Seeing this, Xiao Yan frowned. It was obvious that the power within this flaming beast was disorganized, and it not only had the power of its own source of strange fire, but also the power of holy flame. Adding some other powers, this made Xiao Yan. Inflammation is strange. Ow! After a few minutes, something faintly gushed out from the mouth of the flaming beast. What is this? And Xiao Yan couldn't help asking when he looked at the mysterious light group in the mouth of the flaming beast. This light group is about the size of Xiao Yan's fist, but according to Xiao Yan's perception, the powerful power contained in it may be able to easily kill a powerhouse at the peak of Do Di. Fen Zhu had a very obvious resonance, which was clearly his own vindictiveness. Oh, this little guy is really mysterious, and he has compressed all your fighting qi? When he saw the fist-sized light group in the mouth of the Beast of Flames, the Lord of Soul Eater couldn't help but be shocked. Road. What? Xiao Yan was shocked when he heard this. Although Soul Eater didn't mention it, Xiao Yan knew that Do Di's cultivation was to constantly compress Do Qi Si, and if his strength reached the peak of Do Emperor, he would undoubtedly have to compress all Do Qi and Do Qi Si to form a fist. Only by the size can you condense the core of the battle have the qualification to advance to the Battle of Immortals. This step seems simple, but there are countless geniuses who have fallen on this step, which is enough to see that this step is not that simple. This flaming beast is really mysterious. I'm afraid there are many mysterious places that you don't know about. But that's fine. Since it has already helped you compress the sea of fighting spirit, the next step is to use this light ball to condense the core of the fighting spirit and advance to the level of fighting immortal. Seeing this, the Soul Eater said with a smile, "Little guy, thank you very much." Xiao Yan stretched out his hand and gently put the ball of light into the sea of fighting qi in his body, and immediately said to the flaming beast, "Ow!" Hearing this, the flame beast nodded obediently. Wang Om! At the next moment, the flame beast burst into flames, apparently not knowing what happened. Seeing this, Xiao Yan became vigilant. This is a breakthrough. Don't worry about it. Since the problem of the battle qi in your body has been solved, you take it back and absorb the power of the two holy flames that you advanced before. I'm afraid you can enter the next stage. The next time I wake up, I'm afraid there will be a real transformation," said Soul Eater. "Well, little guy, you can't do anything." Xiao Yan directly returned the flaming beast to the Sea of Du Qi, and the flaming beast had just returned to the Sea of Du Qi, and its whole body was curled into a spherical, gorgeous. The flames continued to emerge, apparently falling into a deep retreat. The two of the Qing family have also arrived. After Xiao Yan finished all this, Qing'er and Qingwen also slowly descended.